Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to cut through all the noise and confusion around weight loss. We're diving into the British Heart Foundation's guide to give you a simple, powerful 5-minute plan. Let's get right into it.
I just love this quote from Vivian. It really hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It's all about those small, doable changes. This isn't some crazy crash diet. It's a real journey, one step at a time.
Okay, so with that hopeful thought in mind, let's get into the why. Because, honestly, understanding why this journey is so important, that's going to be your biggest motivation when things get tough.
Look, the main reason we're even talking about this is your heart. Being overweight seriously ramps up the risk of coronary heart disease, and that's a really big deal. But here's the good news, and it's great news. You absolutely have the power to change that.
Now this is the part that gets me really fired up. You don't have to aim for some mythical, perfect weight to see life-changing results. Just losing 5 to 10% of your body weight, that's it, can do all of this. We're talking lower blood pressure, less strain on your joints, even a boost to your mood. That's a huge payoff for a totally achievable goal.
All right, so every journey has a starting point, right? Before you can figure out where you're going, you've got to know where you're standing. So in this section, we're going to look at 2 super simple tools to help you find your starting line. First up is the Body Mass Index, or BMI. You've probably heard of it. It's just a standard measure that uses your height and weight to give you a general idea of where you stand. Think of it as a quick first look to see if you're in a healthy range. But you know, BMI isn't the whole story, not by a long shot. The next big question is about your shape, because where you carry extra weight matters a lot. Fat carried around your middle can actually be more harmful. And this chart makes it really simple to check. You can do this at home in 2 seconds with a tape measure. Just find that spot halfway between your lowest rib and the top of your hip and see where you land on the chart. It's a really easy way to get a much clearer picture of your personal health risk.
So, you know your starting point. Now it's time for the plan. And I have to be really clear about this. This is not a diet. Forget about those. This is a flexible, sustainable way of eating that you can actually live with for the rest of your life.
Let's just break down the difference, because it's huge. Fad diets, they promise you the moon, but they're basically designed to fail. They're way too restrictive, they're not balanced, and as soon as you stop, the weight just piles back on. This plan is the total opposite. It's all about gradual, steady loss, about 1 to 2 pounds a week, with balanced food you can actually stick with, for good.
And this quote, this gets to the very soul of it. This isn't about feeling miserable and deprived. It's actually about building a new relationship with food, one where you slow down and really appreciate and enjoy what you're eating.
Okay, now for the really fun part, the food. This section is all about what to eat, and guess what? It's all based on one incredibly simple visual tool.
Meet the Eat Well plate. Seriously, this thing is your new best friend. You can forget about complicated calorie counting or weighing every little thing. Just by looking at this plate, you get an instant idea of the right proportions for your meals. So the key thing here is the balance. About a third of your food should be fruits and veggies. Another third should be starchy foods, things like potatoes or whole grain bread. Then the rest is filled out with some protein, some dairy, and just a tiny sliver for fats and sugars. When you can see it like this, building a healthy meal becomes so much easier.
And here are those daily goals in a nutshell. Notice the little notes there. Choose whole grain, choose low fat, choose lean. These small choices within each food group are what make a massive difference to your overall health. And you know what? When you eat this way, you have so much more energy to get up and move too.
And look, this is what we're talking about. Simple swaps are total game changers. Instead of processed meats, go for something like grilled fish or beans. And instead of frying, why not try baking, steaming, or poaching? It's an easy way to cut down on fat without even thinking about it.
Knowing what to do is only half the battle, right? Now let's talk about the how. How do you make these changes a real, permanent part of your life? This is where the magic really happens.
Okay, the absolute key is setting SMART goals. A vague goal like, I'm going to eat less, is pretty much useless. But look at this example here. It's specific, it's measurable, it's achievable, relevant, and it has a time frame. See? This turns a fuzzy wish into a concrete action plan you can actually follow.
And alongside those goals, these little behavioral tricks are amazing. They're all about creating an environment that makes the healthy choice the easy choice. You know, eating at a table with no TV helps you feel full. Serving dinner on plates instead of family style from the middle of the table, that stops mindless second helpings. These are simple, but they are so powerful.
And Emma's story,
Wow. It just reminds us of the most vital ingredient of all, patience. This is a marathon, not a sprint. You've just got to focus on your own journey, celebrate those small wins along the way, and keep taking those realistic baby steps. That's how you get there.
Now, we absolutely have to talk about the other half of this equation: physical activity. It's not just about burning a few extra calories. It's about building muscle, boosting your metabolism, and most importantly, it's what helps you keep the weight off for good.
And you don't have to start training for a triathlon, I promise. I mean, look at this. Even 30 minutes of ironing burns calories. The goal is just 150 minutes of moderate activity a week. That could be a brisk walk, a bike ride, even some energetic gardening. It all counts, and it's way more achievable than you think.
So, if you take only one single thing away from this whole explainer, please let it be this. This journey is built on small things. One smaller plate, one extra walk, one healthy swap at a time. They might seem tiny on their own, but they add up to a huge, lasting difference.
And that brings us right here to our final and most important slide. This is a question for you. Right now, forget about trying to overhaul your entire life tomorrow. Based on everything we just talked about, what is one small, achievable step you can take today?